You know, some stories, they sound like they're straight out of a spy thriller. We're talking a ghost plane, a shadowy cast of characters, and a massive cache of weapons literally falling from the sky. Except this one is absolutely real. So today, let's unpack one of India's most baffling and enduring mysteries, a story that kicks off in the most unlikely of places.
So let's set the scene. It's a quiet morning in a rural village in West Bengal. Local farmers are heading out to their fields, expecting just another ordinary day. But what they end up finding scattered across the landscape, well, it is anything but ordinary.
At first, people just see this glint of metal in the morning sun. Then another and another. Pretty soon the police and even the army are called in. What they eventually gather up weighs over 4 tons. The entire community is just left in shock, trying to figure out what on earth has fallen from the sky.
4 tons, that's a lot of anything, right? But this wasn't farm equipment or some misplaced cargo. This was something that had absolutely no business being in a quiet Indian village.
And this is what they found. A full-blown arsenal. We're talking hundreds of assault rifles, grenades that can destroy tanks, and thousands upon thousands of bullets. Along with all the weapons, they found these broken green crates and 3 parachutes. So clearly, this was a deliberate, military-style airdrop. The question on everyone's mind was pretty simple. Who did this? And why here, of all places?
Okay, so weapons don't just fall out of the sky on their own, right? There's got to be a plane. Investigators immediately started digging through flight logs, trying to find any aircraft that passed over Purulia that night. And it really didn't take them long to find a prime suspect.
So, investigators pretty quickly zeroed in on this one specific plane, a Latvian cargo plane, an Antonov AN-26. It had taken off from Pakistan, stopped to refuel in India, and then flew directly over the exact spot in Purulia where the weapons were found. After the drop, it just exited Indian airspace and headed off to Thailand. The flight path alone was super suspicious. But then, the crew made a huge mistake. See, here's the thing. When the pilot asked for permission to enter Indian airspace, he told the authorities their destination was Cambodia. But they didn't land in Cambodia. They landed in Phuket, Thailand. That's a huge red flag, and it put Indian authorities on high alert. So when that same plane requested to re-enter Indian airspace a few days later, on its way back, the Indian Air Force was waiting for them. 2 MiG-21 fighter jets intercepted the AN-26 and forced it to land in Mumbai.
So you'd think, okay, plane is on the ground, case closed, right? Well, when the authorities boarded the aircraft, the mystery only got deeper. Because the crew, well, they were not at all what anyone expected.
Okay, so let's get to know this interesting cast of characters. First up, you've got Kim Davy, a Danish guy who said he was a community project manager. And, get this, who coincidentally had worked on projects right there in Purulia. Then there's Peter Bleach, a British ex-Special Forces soldier who became an arms dealer. And Deepak Manikant, a passenger who was a follower of a group called Ananda Marga. Add in the Latvian flight crew, and you've got a very strange team. But as investigators would soon find out, none of these identities were quite what they seemed. And this is where the story goes completely off the rails. Think about this. You've been forced down by fighter jets, but the plane just sits there on the tarmac for a full 45 minutes before any security forces even approach it. And in that totally bizarre window of time, Kim Davy, the guy everyone thinks is the mastermind, grabs some papers, walks right off the plane, and just vanishes from a secure airport.
So once the authorities finally get on the plane, they find burned documents and a photo of the Ananda Marga headquarters. Remember Deepak Manikant, the passenger? This was his group. And their main headquarters just happened to be located a short distance from where those 4 tons of weapons had landed. Come on, the connection seemed pretty undeniable, right? But the why was still a total mystery.
Okay, so the rest of the crew is arrested, and now investigators are laser focused on one question. Why drop an arsenal in Purulia? And the answers they got, well, they set the stage for this massive showdown between the accused and the Indian government itself. It became a full-blown war of narratives.
So, fast forward a few years. Kim Davy, the guy who vanished, he suddenly pops up in Denmark and starts talking. He claims the weapons were for the Ananda Marga, but for self-defense. At the time, West Bengal was ruled by the Communist Party, and Davy alleged its members were violently attacking Ananda Marga followers, and the local government was just looking the other way. So, he was just arming them so they could protect themselves. Simple, right? Well, not so fast, because then he dropped an absolute bombshell.
See, Davy didn't just own up to the arms drop. Oh no, he claimed he had help from the very top of the Indian government.
He pointed the finger at the central government, which was led by the Congress Party, and even named elements within RAW, India's foreign intelligence agency. He even claimed they were the ones who helped him escape from the Mumbai airport. Yeah, that allegation, it changed everything.
So this basically boils down to two completely opposite stories. On one side, you have Davy's claim that the central government wanted to stir up chaos in West Bengal to have an excuse to get rid of the rival communist state government. He's saying he was just a pawn in their big political game. The Indian government, on the other hand, said, no way. They claimed Davy was a total liar, just making up a giant conspiracy theory so that the Danish courts wouldn't send him back to India to face trial.
So while Kim Davy is safe and sound in Denmark, the rest of the crew, they're facing the music in India. But spoiler alert, those convictions, they're not going to stick around for long, because some powerful international players are about to get involved.
So at first, the whole crew gets sentenced to life in prison. Case closed, right? Wrong. The convictions start falling apart almost immediately. First, the 5 Latvians are suddenly granted Russian citizenship while they're in prison. And soon after, none other than Vladimir Putin personally steps in and asks for their pardon. They're released in 2000. 4 years later, it's Peter Bleach's turn. He's pardoned too, supposedly after some intense lobbying from the British government. And all this time, Denmark is flat out refusing to send Kim Davy back to India.
And just when you think this story can't get any more like a movie, it does. Years later, a former MI5 agent named Annie Machon goes public and claims that Peter Bleach wasn't just some ex-soldier arms dealer. She claims he was actually an active agent for MI6, Britain's Foreign Intelligence Service, on a secret mission. Which, you have to admit, would definitely help explain why the UK government wanted him out of an Indian prison so badly. Oh, and the international spiderweb just keeps getting bigger. During the whole investigation, Peter Bleach himself had claimed the weapons were actually meant for the Bangladeshi military. And they did find papers with what looked like the signature of a Bangladeshi general. And the crates were even marked for a military base in Bangladesh. But the Bangladeshi government just denied everything, said the papers were fakes, so another dead end. So, after all that, the arrests, the convictions, the pardons, the spies, where does that leave us? Well, it's been almost 3 decades. Every single person involved in this case is now free. And we are no closer to the truth. Basically, we're left with one of the most incredible stories you've ever heard, and it's still a total mystery.
So let's just lay out the big questions that are still hanging out there. Was Kim Davy the real mastermind, or was he just a pawn like he claimed? Who actually put up the millions of dollars for this arsenal? Why in the world did security forces wait 45 critical minutes before approaching a plane that had been forced down by fighter jets? And maybe the biggest question of all, how does the main suspect in a massive international arms smuggling case just walk away from a secure airport? These are the questions that make sure the Purulia Arms Drop remains one of the greatest unsolved mysteries of our time.